Before we start, this is the first time I've ever recording in the morning, and I'm seeing my little kitty cat run across the street to get home. I told you guys, it's the little things. That is so cute, and it literally made my morning. Okay, today I'm going to talk about low self-worth and, to stop being so hard on yourself. Because let me tell you, they're not helping you at all. They're doing you no favors, G. A common thing from my experience is that insecure or non-confident people have this demeaning or, downright hateful voice in their head being way too hard on themselves. Like just unreasonably hard on yourselves. Like it's like you have this family member or a brother or sister in your head that's just like calling you a piece of shit at all times. It's like, those cartoons or the TV shows where on my right shoulder, I have like the heaven or the angel, and then the left shoulder, I have the devil. It's like that, but just the devil, and any action you make, it's just like, you're a piece of shit. Like, you're just stupid. I think I talked about this in my last video that I have been, struggling with this for a long time now, and just recently starting to get better. That any mistake or even, even a normal or successful like action is seen as a fuck up. That any mistake, or even, normal actions or successful actions, for a matter of fact, are over criticized and picked apart to find something wrong and then demean you for it. The reason I know all these things is because I experience them all the time. And for instance, just going to the store and doing something literally as simple as buying something, right? And then you see somebody and it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? You say hi to them, you say what's up, because you're a nice person, you're the goat, of course. And for some reason, it was when you walk away, you're like, fuck, I was so awkward. Ugh. When realistically, no, you weren't. You probably were so fine. And even if you were a little awkward, I don't think the other person is that mean to absolutely tear you up about it. I also don't think they even fucking care. Like, they're probably thinking about their own stuff. It's just weird to me, right? Like the second you do anything, or I'm saying you, but I'm talking in second person. I'm talking about me, but I'm saying you because, I'm trying to connect with the people watching more. You're just overly critical. Even successes, it's so hard for you to feel proud of yourself. And which can just be, fucked up. But it relates to having a low self-worth, which can be caused by anything. I think for me it was not really having a father figure and just kind of shooting in the dark for trying to understand morality and what works for me and what makes me happy and how to make others happy, but the right way, not with without just absolutely killing myself over it, not prioritizing other people's happiness over mine. But also just the lack of knowledge in general and trying to find it online. So it was that insecurity of oh, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just annoying that was the result of all of that, because it's I wish I had someone to tell me nah, man, you're just a kid. It's extremely normal to be unknowledgeable. And the best thing you can do if you're getting bullied for being unknowledgeable is just literally, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Do you see this? Do you see what I just done? Can't believe no one's commented and called me out on this. And I just wish there was somebody, when I was younger, to tell me, just if someone's bullying you for that, just learn about it and become knowledgeable. All you got to do is literally 10 minutes of YouTube or 10 minutes of the internet, since I've grown up with that, to achieve a sense of being educated. It's just, I just wish I had someone like that to kind of show me the way. What am I looking for again? A bucket. But this can be caused by a lot of other things, because that's just my experience, right? Which is, it's kind of sad, but I know there are other people who genuinely went through abusive households when they were younger, and I'm sure they have what I have in terms of a negative voice in their head, but to a more extreme extent. And it's even bad for me, but I know it's so bad for other people just trying to deal with life. Because for me, sure, it's awful, but I'm still able to push through it. And even when it's bad, and I'm still going to the gym, I'm still trying to better myself, and I'm still actively working on things and projects. But I know for some people it's just so debilitating that they can't do any of those things, just because they have such a low self-worth and almost no confidence, no self-confidence, that this voice is so loud and overpowering that it just completely controls their thoughts and their actions. It's actually interesting because I think it was about 2-3 months ago, Theo Vaughn, which I'm sure you guys can can tell since I feel like I bring him up quite a bit. But I absolutely love Theo Von, and he just did a podcast with Tony Robbins. Oh my god, I'm gonna need a lot. But let's see how this looks. I'm loving this. I'm gonna keep it going, but it's gonna take a lot. And Theo Von did a podcast with Tony Robbins, and they talk about this specific thing where because he talked about having a low self-worth, and I think that's a pretty perfect thing to bring up here. And Tony Robbins talks about having a mental home, and that it's hard to let go of these feelings just because they're so habitual already. It's something you've been living with your whole life, that starting to think positive thoughts, or to actually be proud of yourself, or to have confidence rather than, shitting on yourself, which you've probably been doing your entire life. And I know most of you are probably like 18, 19, 20. And so it's been like the past 20 years that you've been doing this. For me, I only started to change this part of myself and when I was 21. So it was like 20 years of habitual action of just like demeaning myself and being hard on myself and having this inner voice that just destroys me and makes it hard to do anything, because not only do I have low self-worth, and it's like I don't even feel like I'm worthy to do it in the first place. It's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and actually do this, and I just can't. I know people talk about imposter syndrome. I think that just comes from having low confidence. It's like the fear of failure accompanied with the fact that you've lived with yourself your entire life. For a fact that you're not the best person, and you might not be proud of yourself, and you've done shitty things. So it's like, who am I to think I can even accomplish this? And that ties into motivation too, to have this, to be so hard on yourself and to have low self-worth leads to decreased motivation, because it's like, who am I to think I can even do this? For me with YouTube and recording videos, I'm so hard on myself that I don't think I'm funny. I don't think I'm good at editing. I don't think my videos are that great. When I'm editing them in Premiere, I spend so long rewatching the same clips over and over and over again that at the end of the video, I watch it back. Like my most recent one on my main channel is a 25-minute video where we went deep on Reddit, and I remember watching it back and going, this is the worst video I've ever made. Like, who am I to think like I'm funny and that people are going to enjoy this, and I'm gonna put it out and it's gonna be a successful video? And that literally just comes from, and that leads to decreased motivation. It's like you have these thoughts in your head. It's been habitual for so long that you actually start to believe them. Of course, it's a lie. It's a fucking lie. You're capable. You've been doing this for so long that it's just how you think. And so it just makes it harder to do anything. And I know a lot of people talk about having low energy and having no motivation to do anything. And I wish I talked about this before, because I have talked about motivation. And I think this is the biggest thing. To not even think you're capable means you're not going to do it at all. Like, why would you get out of bed? Because you think of yourself so poorly. And then when you actually do go out and achieve it, for instance, in my example, it would be making a video. I'm not proud of myself for making it. And why am I not fucking proud of myself? It's because of that low self-worth, which is something that just needs to go. Just starting a project for me already is a chore, because I'm not funny. My video idea is dog shit. Why would anyone watch this? And then I actually I'm not even that motivated to make it. So but I know it's my goal, so I'm going to do it anyway because it's my dream. And then I muster the discipline to do it. And then instead of having a finished product, looking back and going, you know what, I put in the hours, this is a 4-hour recording and I edited this for 60 hours. That's a lot of my time, and I'm proud of myself for making this. No, this is a dog shit video. I'll try again next time and it better be better. It's like this very negative feedback loop. And of course I'm not going to be motivated, and of course I'm not going to be confident when I'm creating if that's the case, and it's weird because of this low self-worth and beating myself up about it. I'm embarrassed of my videos. Like, obviously to the people who are in it, I want them to watch it because they're in it and they were a part of it, so they kind of understand like what's going to happen, and then they can actually give me a more legitimate critical analysis rather than myself watching it back, which is extremely helpful, let me just say. But for instance, like my girlfriend or my mother or my family, like I don't want them to watch my videos. I'm like not proud enough of it for them to be doing that. I mean, it sucks, but it's also like, no, it just straight up sucks. I don't know why. No, I do know why. God, I'm just sorry. I'm kind of flustered right now because I'm having a little bit of anxiety. But it's it's hard to get rid of as well, because it's been with me for so long. It's like I was saying earlier, it's like a brother or it's like a sibling. Like, you can't just get rid of it, It's something that you've grown up with, and it feels like a part of yourself, right? It feels like it's part of you, but it's fucking not. It's a fucking cancer to your life. And because it feels like if you stop feeling this way and you actually start to feel proud of yourself, that you're leaving something behind. And, you know, we're humans. We don't like change. We like things to stay as they are, you know, with good, it's reasonable, but like we get too comfortable, you know, and we even get comfortable in negative situations. And then we're like, oh, this is just how life is. But no, it can be so much more beautiful. It's like we got Stockholm syndrome with ourselves, you know, with our evil voice in our head. We have Stockholm syndrome with that. It's like, oh, this is just how it is. This is just how I am. Like, this is my friend. This is like my voice in my head. So I'm being critical. How else am I going to improve? That's how I think about it. That's how I justify having those negative thoughts. But like, I hope you guys realize to have those negative thoughts, that's not, it's not helpful. It's not doing you a fucking favor, not a single favor. A lot of people complain about motivation. You want more motivation? You got to learn how to get rid of this, or at least combat it. Because I know for some people it's so deeply ingrained, and you might actually have PTSD or, you know, trauma from your childhood that it's just so deeply ingrained that it's like impossible to get rid of. You just at least need to figure out a way to combat it, because it's hurtful. It's hurtful to you, and it's not fair that you feel this way about yourself. It's a literal cancer, and it can be destroying your life. For me, I was like one of the most insecure people I know, you know, and the whole reason for me picking this topic is because I know it so well, and I still deal with this, you know, and I'm still actively working on changing this aspect of myself because, you know, it's not doing me any favors, but I've come a long way. And I really want to help you guys as well, just because it's such a fucking bitch to deal with. It's literally like a demon that's polluted your mind. And I know for a fact there's a lot of like younger people that watch this channel, and because I've seen a lot of comments of like, oh, I'm 16 or oh, I'm 17 and 18. And so I just really hope that, you know, if you're feeling this way, that this video can help you, or at least give you the self-awareness. Because I think that's one of the biggest things as well, is like, this is just part of your life. And people who haven't talked to a therapist or haven't talked to friends about their problems that are like, you know, you have like an educated friend that's, you know, emotionally mature that you share this with, then you just wouldn't know. You know, this is just how life is. This is just how your life has been. This is how you've been thinking. So like, what's the problem with it? And the thing is there's so many problems with it, but I'm sure a lot of people just don't see it ever. And they eventually get to like 25 and start going to therapy. And for me, it was 21. And it's like, you feel like so many years of your life have been wasted just purely because, you know, you're like, oh, I have low motivation. Maybe I'm not eating correctly, or maybe I'm not exercising enough, which, you know, I go to the gym every day, and I work out every day. I still feel this way. I still feel this lack of motivation, this lack of energy. I'm sleeping well. I'm not using like light before bed. Like, I'm just putting my phone down. I'm not using it in bed to keep me up. Like, I don't want that to happen. Hey, I fucked up. Where are my campfires? Oh, they're in the chest. And I still have this lack of motivation. I still have this lack of energy. And I think it comes from self-worth and, you know, just being too hard on yourself. So it's like, this is a huge thing that people need to get over and need to understand about themselves, that I think just nobody is. And nobody's like giving themselves the time of day to think through what they're doing. You know, like, tech companies are so smart that they have our lives. They just have a grasp on our lives, because, you know, you'll spend 4 hours a day on TikTok or Instagram Reels, but you won't spend a second caring about yourself, or a second thinking about yourself. You know, it's like giving yourself the time of day like this is just, for some reason, so difficult. It's almost ridiculous, but it's true. You know, it's true, and it's sad. But you know, I've come a long way, and I think the first step is recognizing this voice, because it's not your friend. I think it's time for everyone watching, and me included, you know, this is like a journal for my life, and I'm kind of talking to myself, but everyone watching, you're kind of just joining me for the ride, I suppose. You know, it's time to grow and be more confident. And a lot of people feel like they're not worthy for that. And that's literally your inner voice, your inner mean voice. That's what this whole video is about. You know, why are you being so hard on yourself? It's like, oh, I don't deserve to go to therapy, or I don't deserve to really feel happy. I've done nothing to be proud of. It's like, you're alive. That alone should be pride. You know, you should be prideful of that. That alone is something so beautiful, and that you're already worthy. You know what I mean? Like, you are a conscious being worthy of love. Like, that's welcome to being a human, man. Like, every human being is worthy of love, and you included. I think the main thing isn't the fact that you might be lonely, or the fact that you feel like you have no accomplishments to look back on. It's literally this negative voice in your head. It's the fact that you don't feel confident in your own skin. It's the fact that you don't appreciate yourself or have this confidence or self-worth. Like, you need to work on all of these things and just to, squash it and just get over it. But for me, what's been working for me a lot recently is, obviously I can't just completely get rid of this immediately. Over time it will happen, and over time your confidence will come back, but it's not going to happen immediately. And not only is it not going to happen immediately, it's it might not come in at full force. And and if it never happens, I'm sorry, but you have to at least have something to combat it. Because for me, I still have it going on, that negative thing, but you just need to learn these habits of thought, that right when that comes into your fucking mind, that you think you are worthy, like like for example, like this video, like you might be having negative thoughts, but I'm telling you you're worth it, and you might not think might not be proud of yourself, but I'm telling you I'm proud of you and that you should be proud of yourself. Or you might be telling yourself you're not worthy of love, but I'm telling you you are. And you need to be there for yourself when you're thinking this. You might be out in public, you might have gone to the store, you might have passed by someone like the story I shared earlier, and you might have done something a little embarrassing, and you get in your car and you're driving home after getting your groceries, and you're like, fuck, that was so embarrassing. Or like at school, like, fuck, that was so embarrassing, I fucked up. Like, I am embarrassed just to be alive because that was so embarrassing. But like, what I would tell you is, no, it's fine. They didn't even notice. And who cares if I was embarrassing in the first place? It doesn't matter. Work on your self-worth and confidence so then you can actually tell yourself these things. Like, you need to have this voice in your head that's telling you, at least, like, oh, no, that negative thought is not even worth it. But I know it's so difficult for you to even think that. You hear my dog? That's hilarious. For you to even think that if you don't have any self-worth. So go, because I made a video already on loving yourself and, dealing with failure, and that you should get to know yourself. Watch those videos if you want to learn how to, take better care of yourself and start to love yourself more. But I'll gloss over some things right now that you could do just to raise your self-respect and self-worth, because you have the negative habit and you need to reinforce it with a positive habit. Negative thought needs to be combated with a positive thought, like no. So you can squash it immediately. It needs to be something that you can bring up. Like, maybe you could write these things down, like journal about it. Like, what do you not like about yourself? What can you change? And then what is, like, just something stupid, like, oh, I'm awkward. Like, who cares? That could be part of your personality. I'm an awkward person. I stumble on my words, and that's fine. And I've, come to realize that. And what I do is just, I take longer breaks in between words. And people don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Instead of, like, they don't care if I'm being awkward. They're thinking about their own shit. And if it's a real friend, it's a friend of yours, and you feel nervous around them, they don't care. They're your friend in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. I wish I could come into your life and just tell you guys how to fix it, but I don't know. I don't know for a fact, because I don't know what you grew up with. I don't know what's going on with you, and if you're genuinely ready to, like, actually work on yourself and you start journaling, please start working on gratitude, because that helps so much. That helps so much with confidence and low self-worth and being hard on yourself, because being grateful for things, it just fills you with love, and then it makes, your cup's overfilling, so you go to give it to other people. Like, you have enough love in your life that, and as you should, like, you should share it with people. Let me open mine. You can get a gratitude journal online, or, you can just write in any book, but I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. I write down what would make today great. I write 3 things, I'll give you an example for today. I wrote, I'm grateful for my path in life. And then I wrote down what would make today great. I wrote being patient with myself, giving myself more time and not letting that evil voice just take over. And you have to work, you have to go faster. It's like, take a chill pill. You can be slow. It's okay. As long as you're doing it and you have more confidence in yourself and you're actually motivated, that's okay. I feel like a lot of culture today is on, like, being the fastest, but I think people are forgetting that they exist, like, you're too focused on being a successful product, that other people will see you as successful and cool, that you're forgetting that you need to be successful to yourself, and to learn who you are and appreciate who you are and learn what you love. And then at the bottom, I have a positive affirmation, and I said, I will take 1 step closer to my goals. That's it. It's so simple, guys, but it really just, if you do it in the morning, first thing you wake up, it changes your framework for the day. Like I said this before, I don't do my thankful journal. I see my mom, I say, hey. It doesn't really click in my mind. That's my mother, and I'm not going to see her forever. When I write down the gratitude journal, it's like, because I wrote down I'm thankful for my mother in there. And, like, the first thing I do when I see her is, like, I already have this love for life, because I'm thankful to be alive, that I hug her. you know. And I think this like bleeds into your day to day, like this negative voice in your head, because if you start to be thankful and you start to be grateful for things, you just have more love, and it subsides those negative emotions of, you know, that negative thought process in your head, because you've already started the day out nice. Like you start to forget about that thing, and it starts to not be there for you, which is good. A lot of people feel like, you know, that negative voice is there for them and teaching them. It's not. It's fucking not, because it's in your head. You know, it'd be different if there was like you hired a professional trainer. It was like, yo, teach me how to be a better person. And they were like in your ear, chopping your head off, or chirping your head off. It would be different, but it's you. You already know everything about you. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that's pretty unreasonable to assume that you would know how to be overly critical with yourself if you don't even know how to stop that in the first place. You know what I mean? But yeah, just start to work on self-respect and self-worth. Gratitude helps a long way. Loving yourself helps a long way. Journaling and figuring out who you are. I don't think like a lot of people don't understand that, you know, they're feeling unmotivated, they're feeling sad, they're feeling lost, they're feeling alone. For me, since I know myself so well, when I'm alone, I'm almost at my happiest, because it's me. I'm with myself. I'm starting to love myself. And so when I'm by myself, I find the solace. You know, I don't think being alone should be a negative thing. People are like, oh, I'm alone with my thoughts. That can be some of the most beautiful, like, brainstorming activity. You know, there's not a lot of stimulation going on. And a lot of people like to distract themselves when they're alone, like watching TikTok or YouTube and stuff like that. And that's all well and good in moderation, but like, you should just be you. You should create something. You should be doing something by yourself. You know, something productive. I just feel like any person that truly knows themselves is truly grateful. They have those two things. It's a lot easier to love yourself, because I feel like people don't love themselves when they're living a lie and doing things to please others and not doing what they truly care about. And when they put all these things together, like, the self-love just comes to you. I feel like this negative voice in your head is so difficult to just like hit right off the bat. If you're not grateful, if you have no self-respect and you have no self-worth, to get rid of that negative voice is going to be such a challenge in the first place, because I feel like you need to tackle those things first. But okay, guys, I really appreciate you. Sorry if this video is a little different in terms of how I'm talking. This is the first time I've recorded in the morning, and I'm actually about to get on a flight in like 2 hours. So I'm going to go visit my girlfriend. Apologies for not posting as much. It's hard to get in the mood sometimes, you know, and that's it. I just don't want this channel to be forced. I want this to be a journal for me when I'm ready. And you know, I'm never gonna promise daily uploads, maybe not even every other day, but I'm definitely gonna aim for like 2 times a week. I think that's very doable. I'm gonna be leaving a pinned comment. Please respond to that with any questions. I'm probably gonna do one more normal video like this, and then I'm gonna do a video where I answer every question that people have responded to my pinned comment with, so then I can just, you know, answer what you guys are thinking about. And because I did that before and it went really well. I thought, like, I had 3 questions or 4, and they asked really good questions, and I was able to go into it. I think it was a 30-minute video just for 4 questions, like giving like 7 minutes to each question. It was awesome. So yeah, please, let's do it again. But yeah, thank you guys. Here's a video. This is our little ritual. I'll give you this video and then I'll do my outro.
You must never give in to despair. Allow yourself to slip down that road, and you surrender to your lowest instincts. In the darkest times, hope is something you give yourself. That is the meaning of inner strength.
All right. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. Reach out to an old friend, tell them you miss them. Reach out to a current friend, tell them you want to hang out. And reach out to your parents and tell them you love them. Give them a hug, you know, if you can. All right. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.